I had told everyone, including him, that I would be out of town for a few days. Work had sent me on a trip, and honestly, I was looking forward to the change of scenery. He seemed oddly enthusiastic when I mentioned my absence, almost too eager to help me pack. At the time, I brushed it off as him just being supportive, but something about his energy stuck with me. The trip ended sooner than expected. My meeting wrapped up earlier, and instead of telling him, I decided to surprise him. In my head, I pictured his shocked, happy face when he saw me walk in. The thought made me smile the entire way home. I didn't call, I didn't text. This was going to be my little surprise. When I pulled into the driveway, his car was there. The lights inside were on, and faint music drifted out through the slightly open window. I thought maybe he was just relaxing, but something about the music. It wasn't his usual playlist. It was upbeat, almost party-like. My curiosity started to grow. I quietly unlocked the door and stepped inside. What I saw made me freeze in place for a second, then fight the urge to laugh because it was absurd. There he was, standing on the coffee table in nothing but pajama shorts, wearing my feathered pink robe, and holding a broom like it was a microphone. And he wasn't alone. My two closest friends were sitting cross-legged on the floor, wearing paper crowns, clapping and cheering like they were in the front row of some bizarre concert. One of them was even holding up a handmade sign with his name on it like this was a sold-out show. I had no idea what I was looking at. He saw me and froze mid-performance, his eyes wide. My friends turned around, and the look on their faces was pure guilt mixed with panic. I almost expected someone to yell, "Cut!" like we were on a movie set. "What is happening?" I finally asked, still standing at the doorway. No one answered right away. They just stared at me as if I'd walked in on some sacred ritual. Then, without warning, one of my friends blurted out, "It's his turn to host our ridiculous talent night." Apparently, while I was away on past trips, they had created this ridiculous game where they'd dress up, sing badly, and put on comedic performances for each other. And this time, it was his debut as the headliner. He just didn't expect me to walk in during his big moment. Part of me wanted to be mad. I mean, I had just driven hours to surprise him, only to find him dancing around in my robe in front of my friends. But honestly, I couldn't stop laughing. The absurdity of the situation completely disarmed me. He stepped down from the coffee table, looking mortified, and mumbled, "I swear, it's not what it looks like," which only made me laugh harder because actually, it was exactly what it looked like. The three of them scrambled to explain the rules of this game, but their explanations only made it sound stranger. Something about the loser having to wear the most ridiculous outfit they could find, and perform in the costume of shame. That night, my robe was apparently the costume of choice. We ended up ordering pizza and watching the rest of their talent night unfold. I even got roped into judging a dance-off between my husband and one of my friends. By the end of it, I realized maybe it was better that I'd come home early because if I hadn't, I'd never have known about this strange little tradition. It was one of those rare, absurd moments that you can't plan, can't explain to anyone without sounding slightly insane, but also can't stop laughing about afterward. Even now, whenever I see that pink robe hanging in my closet, I can't help but picture him on that coffee table, broom in hand, fully committing to his ridiculous performance. It turned out my surprise visit wasn't the only surprise that night, and honestly, I think his was better than mine.